what you say or who you are, so they just get to decide, oh, we don't want his message being heard. And somebody in the city, too, that's what makes it even worse. That's what turns it into a real scandal. And I tried to tell him, like, hey, I just want my shit back. Like, I don't want to prosecute you. I don't want to sue you. I just want my shit back. And this guy's laughing in my face. This ordinance officer is laughing in my face, sticking his tongue out at me. I'm just like, shit. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll be doing that. I'll be calling the U.S. District Court down here, too. I'll be hitting them with a nice complaint. I say, hey, I got him on video. Thinks it's funny. Thinks it's cute. I'm like, that's...
Are they running?
No. It's just an ordinance officer. I had issues with him a couple years back when he got hired, and he was selectively enforcing things against certain people and ignoring other things. And
so trying to do it.
Yeah, so I called him out for it a little bit publicly, kind of shamed him, tried to get him to get his act together, and he's just, he don't like me apparently. Which is fine. I don't need you to like me, but I need you to respect my rights to, engage in my affairs, But I don't know. It's like the kids run the world now, The children are running the world, and the adults are the ones that are called crazy. And the people with common sense, they're the scary people nowadays. Because that's what they try to do with me. Oh, he's crazy. He's a crazy veteran. Don't listen to him. He's got PTSD. And I'm like, well, two can both be true. I could be crazy veteran with PTSD and still be right about everything I'm saying. So, I don't know the relevance. It's just a way to discredit people, That's all it is. But I'm still trying. I got to get a little smarter and put my signs a little bit further on private property and make it, they have to walk farther to steal them, and maybe have to start putting some GPS trackers in them, and, I'll figure something out. It's just sad I got to do that,
Air tags.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I might have to put some air tags in, or I don't know. But it's about the third time I've been down here for it, because I keep noticing more and more signs. I put out about 20 or 30 of them throughout town, and I just keep noticing. I'll be driving by, and I'll say, oh, there's one less. And then you'll ask the guy, hey, can I just get my property back? Like, that's all. And they'll just laugh at you. It's like, small town USA, I guess. But I said, I can't wait to show that to the federal court judge. Be like, yeah, this is their response to. Because what's funny is we have them on video stealing the signs. We have eyewitnesses of people that saw him in that vehicle, same vehicle. I'm like, you're brazen, buddy. That's. I don't know. I said, I don't know. But anyway. Yeah, it's bad. I don't know. I've lived in a lot of messed up places, quote unquote, like just throughout my life. And
are you getting your whole report, police report?
I want to just release from my truck.
Oh no, you have to wait to get the report. You can't just get the report. You gotta only between certain hours, Monday through Thursday, during very limited hours. Yeah, you're 9 to 1. Yeah. So, yeah, they don't make it easy. They make it. I don't even think this is a real police department. I mean, if I'm just being frank with you, I've seen too much. I know too much. It's insane. Like the deputy chief of police and the chief of police currently, they both lost their qualified immunity a couple years ago because they maliciously prosecuted another resident, Mark Blackwell, and they lost their qualified immunity because they had no probable cause. They just charged him because he was going up to City Hall and talking too much and saying too much, and they didn't know how to deal with him other than, they won't argue they won't point out how you're wrong in your logic. They'll just say, oh yeah, well, he's a problem, we got to deal with him. And so at the time it was Lieutenant Carter, Chief Finley Carter. He's the chief now, chief of police, or deputy chief. Yeah, it's funny how that works, how you get caught in civil court violating someone's rights and then you get promoted. Well, I guess because he does what he's told, that's the most important thing, right? You got to do what you're told. If they tell you to do something, you got to do it. If they tell you to jump, you got to jump. If you don't do it.
Yes, sir. Just like our government.
I do wish you the luck in your pursuit here. It's tough. But I'm trying to get the Michigan State Police involved with this department. I'm trying to get the feds involved, but I know it's a pipe dream, but I'll keep trying. 'Cause there's a lot of unsolved murders in Wayne and a lot of stuff that they don't even bother to try to investigate. I mean, you could have the body camera, you could have the video evidence, the door camera footage. They won't even look at it. It's just like, how do you get to be in that position in life where, you can just outright refuse to do your job, not even pretend to do your job. I mean, that's what it's like. Everything's in plain sight. Everything's hidden, but it's all the government, the whole government. I mean, the state and the feds are even more worse. It's just the whole thing. It needs a total rebuild. Everything. It's like a house. Bulldoze it down and start over. I mean, it's just so corrupt on every facet of government. Like they used to, at least back in the day, at least put on the act. Now they don't even put on the act. They just smile in your face. You're like, wow. You're like, my God, what happened to this country? A lot of things happen to it, but you're crazy if you notice. Because it's not just the police department, it's just a society in general. Customer service is just, there is no such thing anymore. We're in the do-it-yourself economy. Go pick the part off the shelf and find it and load it and, assemble it. And,
Yeah.
Well,
you want us to do that, we'll charge you. Charge extra.
It's wild. Go to Home Depot, you're just like walking back and forth trying to find a part in an aisle for 30 minutes. You walk by 10 employees, no one pays you any mind, everyone's actively trying to avoid you.
Or it's, I don't work in that area.
Yeah.
Can you
Oh, let me go
someone
find
that-
someone that can help, and then 20 minutes later, they clocked out and they're already on the way home.
Yeah.
You're like, what the hell, man? Yeah, and then come to find out, it was placed in the wrong spot to begin with. So you were never gonna find it. It was all just a waste of time. And you're like, oh, sorry, our system is not the most up to date. It's like.
Yeah, I loved it when your hardware stores, everybody knew where everything was and didn't rely on
Right.
keying it.
Well, that would require paying a worker to actually, be there and spend some time there. And no, it's all about the bottom dollar, man. It's all about maximizing every dollar we can at the expense of the experience, and every dollar's got to be maximized. And it's just like, I don't know. I miss the 90s. I miss the early 2000s. I'm not that old, but I miss the early 2000s, man. I missed 1999. I missed 2001. I missed 2003. It was still made sense to me. This shit don't make no sense to me. Hey, how you doing? Just reporting more signs missing on Michigan Ave. There's more of them. So I don't know. I guess I'm gonna start putting GPS trackers in them or air tags or.
Was that on the public right of way?
No. I mean, they're private property. I mean, sometimes I don't know. I don't know if, I go ask the permission from the, like the church, right? The Lutheran church, St. Michael's at the corner of Hannon and Glenwood. I go ask them, hey, can I put a sign out front? Yeah, go ahead. And as far as I can tell, it's their property. I mean, so some of it, I don't know. I mean, I think it's all on private property, but.
I think if they got taken, it was probably from, I'm guessing probably ordinance, and it was in public right of way.
Right. Well, again, though, like, at what point? I just don't understand. Like, why can't I get my signs back? Like, educate me on what I'm doing wrong. But the idea that I have $1,000 budget for this campaign, and every sign's $4, and I've lost at least a dozen of them now or more. I mean, it's just kind of like, I don't know, weird that I can't just get my shit back. It's almost like it's being used as evidence for a crime or something. And I'm like, well, it's not a crime to run for office.
Well, we're not investigating any crimes or anything like that for any signs.
Yeah, well, I see him. I see it.
We're not using it as like evidence or anything.
Right.
So, I don't know. Maybe.
Is it something I just have to take it up in the federal court, or what do I got to do? I mean,
I would start with maybe calling building engineering and just asking like.
I try, man, but every time I call, their voicemail's full. They don't respond to emails. You go down there on video, live, because I don't want to be falsely accused of something, and then they call the cops on me, slam doors into me, like happened just the other day.
Yeah, I know Officer Bartis is about to look at that. We've been busy this morning.
Yeah, I understand,
but he
but
got your email.
Okay, well,
Go watch that video.
I understand it takes time, but I just want to keep you aware that, there was a SNK Fuels right over here next to the police station. They had a sign out for me. They said it just came up missing. Just, and as far as I can tell, that's private property, I mean, so I'm just making you guys aware. I'm going to probably put some more out, but I'm going to try to put them further into the property, I guess, to make it more, that way there's no gray area of like, oh, he's, I guess I got to make it abundantly obvious that it's private property, put it right next to the building or something. I don't know, but
I can reach out, give the ordinance people a heads up that you're gonna try to put it more on private property.
I'll try to get it further into the property. I'll try to, make it no doubt, I guess, but I don't know. I just want to make you aware, sir.
I'll call over there for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well, there you have it, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the world. That is pretty much what we experience. I don't know, man. Like I said, I think you could make an argument that some of those signs are on public easement, sure. But also, the thing with it is, right, here's what kind of the $1 million question, right? Well, the public easement, right, are not really public easements anymore, because those areas, those pieces of land are oftentimes, well, nowadays, all the time in the city of Wayne, the owner of the property, the adjacent property, the private property owner who shares that easement is responsible for the maintenance of that piece of, land or grass or whatever. So is it really public property at that point? If I'm responsible for the sidewalk, I'm responsible for the curb, I'm responsible for cutting the grass, I'm responsible for how shit looks. I mean, is it really truly public property at that point? I don't believe so. I think, if I ask a property owner, right, if I go to someone and say, hey, hello, I would like to put a sign out on your property, and they give me permission, that should be the end of it, right? And if that property owner doesn't want the sign anymore, they can, then it would be different, right? They could be, if they want to destroy it or they want to give it back or take it down, that's their prerogative, because it's their property, right? I mean, it's my property too, but it's their property. But when somebody from the government comes in and removes your signage, I mean, that's just it's kind of fucked up, right? Because some of those places are bona fide private property, without a doubt. They're bona fide private property. And some of them are easement, right? Some of them are, kind of that gray area, right? Well, are they private property or is it public property? Because if I'm required to maintain the motherfucker, then I should also have dominion over that, right? I mean, obviously, you can't build a tiki hut in the easement, right? On the grass, right? On the curb, right? I mean, obviously, right? I mean, some of this shit's obvious, but as far as like, oh, hey, I maintain this piece of land, I should have dominion over that land within reason, right? I mean, having a sign out for political season, I mean, I don't see how that would be violating anyone's privacy or comfort or rights, or it's not infringing upon anybody, it's not infringing upon anybody. And I don't know, I don't see the harm in it, right? Like, hey, you drive by and you got to look at a sign, and you continue on with your day, and it's kind of like, hey, not that big of a deal to me. But when these signs keep getting stolen, and I mean, we're probably at $50 or $60 worth of, like loss of money due to this, right? We've lost $50 or $60. And so, I don't know. It's just kind of like, at what point do you kind of got to be like, hey guys, hey judge, take a look at this, because it's just not adding up. Again, the thing with it is too, is like, I put a lot of my signs right next to other signs, right, that are already there. And so while some of the signs that I've posted next to other signs have been removed as well as mine have, like they've both been removed at the same time, I guess. Some of them haven't, right? Like at the Hype Center, right, for instance. So at the Hype Center, both of my signs were removed, but the signs from the Hype Center remained, right? And so that's selective enforcement. And then of course, all of the signs apparently that were removed along with mine, right? Only my signs have been destroyed though. So like other signs may have been removed as well, but those signs haven't been treated the same. Those signs have not been removed and disposed of, right? Destroyed, right? So, and then I also think that, given that it's a political sign, it has more, how do I say, importance, right? Because it is political season. I am an official candidate. And so, I kind of think that takes precedence over an ordinance, right? Any ordinance, right? If you have an ordinance that just, we can take and destroy your signs if they're on a public easement, but it's an election season and the person who maintains the property has given you permission to have the sign there. I mean, it just kind of like, it doesn't sit right with me, and it doesn't pass, I guess, my smell test, right? It doesn't really pass my smell test. I don't look at it and think to myself, this smells legit, this smells good, this smells whatever. And so, to me, it seems like it's unconstitutional. It really does feel like it's conversion, right? Like you're literally you're stealing somebody's intellectual property. You're interfering with a political campaign. You're censoring, right? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I think it's time that we give the news a call. We'll wait it out. We'll give them a week or two to figure out what they want to do. Well, I'll give them a few days. I'll be reasonable about it. But if I'm not getting my signs back, and I'm not even getting an explanation as to what I'm doing wrong and how I can improve and that sort of thing, right? Like, I mean, it's just bad faith, right? That's the bottom line here. Is it's just they're operating in bad faith, and they claim they want peace and they want this and they want that, but their actions speak otherwise. And strong personality, what have you, whatever you want to call it, that's not a reason to violate somebody's rights. And the law is actually written to protect people like me and the outliers of the world, we'll say, right? The people that are kind of the outliers of their how do I say, the outliers of the world, of society. Those laws were designed to protect exactly, the laws were designed to protect controversial people and controversial things. Now, I don't think this is particularly that controversial. I think it's pretty cut and dry. I think that, having a First Amendment voice, having the ability to speak is really, really, really important, you know. And, you know, smiling at somebody, menacing somebody, you know, being deliberately indifferent to somebody, it's something. It's something. It's something that we don't need. It's something that we need to do away with, and just get back to common sense, right? Get back to standards, right? Get back to like, hey, we're not going to tolerate government employees flipping people off, no matter who it is, no matter how strong their personality may be, no matter how much of a pain in the ass they could be or are, whatever. The history doesn't matter. The 14th Amendment, equal protection under the law, has got to apply, and it's got to apply equally and without bias, right? Without selectiveness, right? It has to apply equally. And yeah, I feel like there's things in this country, right? It's beyond Wayne, right? It's beyond Wayne. But there's things in this country that are just patently wrong, patently unfair, patently unconstitutional, that are occurring, that need to be addressed, right? Apparently, we need to have some sort of a precedent, you know, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, guys. I wish I didn't have to. I wish that, you know, people would be adults and say, hey, look, you know, this is wrong, and it's objectively wrong, and there's no way to bullshit our way out of it, and we're just kicking the can down the road, and we need to just, like, you know, call a spade, right? Call a spade and say, look, having mental health petitions, right, false mental health petitions against people is wrong. I mean, just flat out. Having a certificate-less, no clinical certificate, no certificate of service, and no explanation for both, well, that's just kind of abuse of process. I mean, it's not kind of, it is. It absolutely is. And it's undemocratic, unrepublican, un-American is what it is. It's absolutely un-American. It's unconstitutional. And, you know, that's why the constitutional safeguards exist. The constitutional safeguards exist for the extreme cases, right? For the cases of, hey, this guy is not going to stop exercising his rights unless we kill him, of course. Unless we kill him, unless we lock him in a cage, unless we lock him away in a psych ward or something. Unless we do that, right? Which, of course, we risky business to do that, right? It's, you know, you know, you can get away with it maybe once, maybe twice. You know, small town USA, it gets harder to financially pull it off, right? I mean, you know, so I don't know. It's kind of like, you know, the city again has put themselves in this position by their own actions, their own conduct, their own lack of training, their own policies, procedures, and protocols, customs, traditions, decision maker, final authority decision makers, right? That sort of thing. So, you know, that has to be looked at, patently looked at, and scrutinized. It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be, you know. And like I said, some of what I do, some of what I say, some of how I act, it's impetuous, right? It's off the cuff. It's unique in the sense that it's, you know, very straightforward, and it's very analytical, and it's very articulate, and it's very believable. It's so believable that you have receipts, and you have, you know, you have so many receipts that they're lost in a stack of receipts, right? I mean, that's really what this boils down to, is that, you know, personal responsibility, you know, has to be at the forefront, of course, with anything in life. But when you victimize a family on their own private property for 3 years, right, 2024, 2025, 2026, that's not not good, you know. And I guess they could have gotten away with it with a person of ordinary firmness, right? And again, maybe they have. Maybe they've gotten away with it a lot. I don't know exactly how many people they've fucked over before me. I know of prominent ones: Mark Blackwell, Anthony Miller, John Zook Jr., Abraham Hughes, of course me, DeVincent McFarlin. You know, so I know of those cases. I'm not terribly versed in the, you know, what I would love to do. Here's what I would love to do in the city of Wayne is I would love to audit the city of Wayne Police Department. Right? I would love to audit the city of Wayne Police Department and just figure out exactly where the money's going, how it's being spent, what it's being spent on. But I want to see if we could establish a pattern, right, from their own police reports and their own records. Could we establish a pattern that this is not an isolated incident? What happened to me, or what's happening to me, isolated? They're not really isolated incidents, right? Like, I'd love to see how many arrested and charged and or convicted in the city of Wayne, and compare it to the actual probable cause standard, right? Compare it to what actual probable cause they had to begin with. What actual evidence did they have? What did they narrate in their report? See if we can find patterns, right? See if we can find abnormalities, right? Abnormal things, right? Let's just see if we can find things in the records that just don't add up. And I bet you would. I bet you will find the same actors with very, 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 very corrupt. Well, just, you know, like the ambiguous language, right? Because that's what they really love to do, is this ambiguous language, because it allows them to dance around the issue, right? So if you write a report and it's very ambiguous and it's kind of very open-ended, and it's like it's just specific enough, but it's not too specific, and it's just vague enough, but it's not too vague, right? Which I've noticed in a lot of my, you know, police reports, fire reports, virtually all of them, right? They're all just completely inaccurate accounts of the events. They're all written in a way to be ambiguous. The bond conditions that they ask for, they make them ambiguous and as broad, over breadth as humanly possible, right? But they make it sound, you know, plausible, like, oh yeah, we're just trying to protect city workers. And it's like, no, you're not trying to protect city workers. You're trying to violate my rights. You know that I know my rights, and you know that I also know the law well enough to give you a good run for your money, let's say, right? To make it interesting, to have a puncher's chance at you know, I have a puncher's chance, right? And, you know, if you're fighting Francis Ngannou, right, the strongest punching power fucking ever, right, as far as I can tell, right? If you're fighting Francis Ngannou, you know, he don't have to be technical. He just has to land that one punch, right? And you're done, right? So it's like the same thing here, right? Like, I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest puncher in the world, but you're not knocking me out, right? You're not, you know, like, I'm like a chin that you can't crack, man. You just can't crack. I've never been wobbled. I've never been hurt. I've never been stunned. I've never been rocked. Like, I just eat it all day long and keep coming forward, eat it. And so, you know, I hope that, you know, again, we can all be friends one day, but that's not what I'm going for. You know, I got to be friends with the truth first and foremost, and I got to be friends with my beliefs and what I stand for, which is more than, you know, the societal norms that are placed upon us, that are restrained upon us, you know, that are compelled upon us, right? I don't adhere to these societal norms that really, you know, certain societal norms, sure, but societal norms that are really just designed to be a formality, to block and impede progress, and to impede and block the truth, I can't stand behind that. I can't stand behind it. I can't represent that viewpoint. And again, I gotta remain true to myself and what I believe in. And what I believe is that I'm doing the right thing according to Finley Carter III, right? Just like he said, do the right thing, Mr. McFarlin. Well, I will do the right thing. I'll continue to expose you. I'll continue to talk about, your dirty laundry, and God willing, I'll, again, take a good, hard, long look. If I could get all those public records from all the departments and run them through, well, just preliminarily speaking, right? Run them through some AI programs, a few different ones, and just see, hey, can we find the same sort of patterns and trends and, inconsistencies, right? Improprieties, right? Can we find the same improprieties that we've discovered so commonly discovered with the DeVincent McFarlin versus City of Wayne malicious prosecution, right? Or the people of the City of Wayne versus DeVincent McFarlin, right? That prosecution, that whole thing. Again, I just really, really, truly want to talk about it. I really want to dive into it, and I really want to dissect it, word for word, line for line, and again, apply that same formula to, I've heard the City of Wayne police has been corrupt. We'll just start from June 18th, 2024. We'll start from the well, we got to start before that, because there was a history with John Zook Jr. There was a history and that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know. We need to at least go back to, let's say we'll go back to when John Zook Jr. was becoming a problem, right, for the City of Wayne. Right? We'll go back and figure that out, right? And then we'll go forward, and then we'll just look at every case, see if we can find any other case. Well, you can't find any other case in the City of Wayne history of a person being charged with 5 municipal ordinance violations and having it not be bound over to the Wayne County Circuit Court, right? Keeping it at the local district court. That's, again, guys, that's interesting shit to be the only one, the first one, and hopefully the last one. That's the key, right? Hopefully, how do you get charged with assault and battery of a police officer, right? Assault and battery on a police officer, and then you're not bound over to the Wayne County Circuit Court. How is that even possible, right? And of course it's possible because it was a loose charge to begin with. It was fabricated to begin with, and they knew that if Wayne County actually looked at the evidence, that they would laugh them out of a fucking courtroom. And so they decided, well, we can't really bring it to Wayne County because they don't deal with frivolous bullshit anyways, right? Typically they deal with more, felonious murders, homicides, that sort of thing. So, it wouldn't have been a good fit for them anyways. But the bottom line is assault and battery of a police officer should be a felony, right? Or a high level misdemeanor. Definitely warranting a bind over to the Wayne County Circuit Court. But the fact that it wasn't, none of this was ever brought to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and instead it was prosecuted by the City of Wayne's own city attorney, right? The same department head that literally, Carrie Miller, who works and knows the City of Wayne all too well, right? She's effectively an administrator for the City of Wayne, right? She's more than just the city attorney, right? She's the city attorney runs the City of Wayne, right? The city manager does not. That's a figurehead. That's a punching bag. That's someone who we can fire if they don't implement our corrupt agenda, or they don't, get with the protocol, right? They don't implement the protocol that we've decided. The council, we've decided, I don't know, we've decided how things are going to go, and this is our city, and this is our community, and how dare some outsider come in and think he's going to shake things up? How dare he? Rules for thee, but not for me. Too realistic, too honest, too raw, too gritty for those people. But for you, you have a voice, you have a vote, you can decide the future of the city of Wayne. You can decide, hey, are we going to be a city that actually honors veterans, that doesn't murder veterans or unalive veterans, a city that doesn't maliciously prosecute veterans, a city that upholds the Constitution, a city that respects the Constitution, cherishes the Constitution? Or are we going to be a city of bootlickers, of losers, right? Because that's what the city of Wayne is right now. The city of Wayne is losing, right? It's a loser city. Doesn't have to be, doesn't mean the people of Wayne, the average person in Wayne, obviously, has no bearing, really, on the city of Wayne administration, what they do, the department heads, right? So I'm not calling people in Wayne. I love people in Wayne, right? I think people in Wayne are some of the best people in the United States. But they just got too used to the abuse, and they've kind of tuned out and stopped caring. And, you kind of just accept it, right? If you get abused for so long and you see all this shit, I mean, you kind of just accept it. Oh, this is how it is. This is how it's always going to be. And, there's no sense of putting up a fight. And, it's futile, and, it's a waste of time. And it goes in one ear and out the other. And, I get it. I mean, trust me, I understand that sentiment very, very, very well. But the reality also is that you do have a vote. You do have a vote, right? You do have the ability to vote. And, that's not a lot. That's not asking a lot. It's not asking a lot to, get your absentee ballot and, make sure you check the primary and the general election, right? You check them both. And, check them both and see what happens. Check them both and see what happens, and get your absentee ballot, go to the polls, and preferably just vote for me. That way you don't dilute your vote, because we do need to, at the very least, advance to the general election in November. So for sure, the primary, only vote for me. If you care about freedom, if you actually want any possible chance of change, any meaningful change, that is. If you want to see a Wayne that gets revised and revamped and redrafted until we get it right, vote for me. Because I'll ensure it. I will take this as my life's calling, essentially. And it won't be a part-time gig for me. And of course, I'm never going to profit off of you. I never have, and I never will. So, that's the other thing with it, is like, I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this just because it needs to be done. And, I'm not going to say I'm not going to take the money and, reinvest. That's what I'm going to do. When I say no salary, I don't mean that I'm going to just give the money back to the Wayne Treasury to waste it. Maybe if the city of Wayne cleans its act up, then sure, if it's actually worth donate the money to, because it's going to be, but we should just start a new fund, right? A people's fund, right? But no, I mean, poetic justice says that I need to take that money and use that money, to hold the city of Wayne accountable, right? To hold them truly accountable. And, no salary. No salary. I'm not going to profit off the city of Wayne, never would. It's not my life's mission. My life's mission is very simple. Truth, 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 and nothing but it. And to pursue it early and often and unapologetically and relentlessly, right? Where you just wear out the competition, where the competition just goes, yeah, I really can't, I really, really, really can't keep up with this guy. This guy, he's too active. He's outworking me. He's outpacing me, and eventually, hopefully, they'll just accept their limited role in society, that they, should be a public servant first and foremost. You're getting paid to be a public servant, how it should be. It should be an honor to serve your community and to take the blows and take the hits and take the criticism, and also get the praise when you do good things, right? I mean, that's how it's supposed to go. You take the good with the bad, the good, the pretty with the ugly, right? And so that's all we want, guys. We just want to, again, bring it to you raw, bring it to you uncut, bring it to you uncensored, bring it to you the way that you want it, which is direct, to the point, and without censorship, without spin, right? Without the spin, right? So this is the Wayne spin. This is the Wayne spin, right? You want to get it spun, we're not going to spin it for you, other than how it actually is, right? We're going to spin it for you how it really is. Because God forbid, if I had these foils, man, it's no wonder the city of Wayne's blocking me at every turn, and trying to charge me $400,000 or $500,000 for FOIAs, right? Freedom of information for $500,000, please. It's fucking wild shit, man. It's like you're playing a game of Jeopardy. And you're just like waiting and tapping your fingers and waiting. And you're like, boy, it'd just be so much easier just to allow people to have political signs during campaign season. I think it would just be so much more appropriate, right? So, I don't know, guys. I don't fucking know. 100 IQ, 200 IQ play here, right? I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore, guys. But what do you do when, what do you do? Besides vote for reality. Vote for common sense. Vote for, the truth, right? Well, what's actually going on, right? Not what you want to believe is going on, but what you can actually verifiably see with your own eyes and ears. Vote for that.